For this exercise, begin by standing on an elevated surface and then hold on to a weight. Now in this position, you're gonna roll yourself down as far as you can, thinking of moving from top down. So from here, I'm gonna first start with my mid back rounding, and then I'm eventually gonna work into my low back rounding, and then I'm gonna lower the weight very slow and controlled all the way down, as far down as I can while keeping my knee straight. You don't wanna bend the knees, you wanna keep everything pretty locked out here. Make sure you go as far as you can. You'll feel a pull in the back, maybe a little bit in the hamstrings and calves as well, that's okay. And then slowly return back up. Now, when you return back up, it's the exact opposite. You're gonna move from bottom up. So first I'm gonna move from my hips, my low back, and then as I come up, I'm gonna start straightening out from my low back to my mid back, all the way until I'm nice and tall here. Now, when you're tall, avoid arching the low back. You wanna keep everything engaged, from my glutes to my lower back muscles. Even my shoulder blades are gonna be engaged here too, until I'm fully erect here. And then I'm slowly gonna go back down again, and I'll show you a few reps. Slowly lowering all the way down, as far as you feel comfortable. And this is about as far as I can go. I feel a pull in my hamstring, a little bit in the calves and low back as well. And then I slowly pull myself back up.
So with this exercise, I'm trying to do basically a standing crunch. I'm standing, I'm trying to curl my back from the top, my lower back all the way down. I have a pretty high surface, so if I put my hands here and I start to crunch, this is as far down as I'm gonna go, and I'm pushing as hard as I possibly can into this box using my core. If I was on a lower surface, which I don't have now, and you imagine if I did the same thing, I'd be able to get even lower as I build up this tolerance to lumbar flexion or bending in this exercise. So again, the key, you're using your stomach to pull yourself down. Once you reach the height, you're gonna push for the prescribed amount of time and then slowly back off. So in this bridge variation, we are really focusing on our spine, trying to roll our spine, starting with the hips, rolling it up, and then going down and rolling it back. Think of like peeling your back off the floor and then slowly letting it down. So different than a normal bridge where you're just driving your heels up and just trying to lift your hips. I want to, and with my hands, I'm gonna peel by kind of tucking my tail a little bit, peeling the bottom part of my spine off the floor, and I'm gonna keep trying to peel it slowly up until I reach kind of my mid to upper back, and then I'm going to lay it back down in the top part, now the middle part of my back, and then the lower. So again, as I peel, I'm going to go lower back, mid to upper back, and then now mid to upper back, mid back, lower back.
For this exercise, you want to begin by lying on your back and then bringing both legs up, hips bent to about 90 degrees, knees bent to about 90 degrees. This is going to be maintained by activating your core. So to hold this position, your core is on, your back is pushing against the floor to make sure it doesn't arch. This means you lost that control there. You want to keep this engaged, back flat against the floor. Now, this is your starting position, and you're going to curl up from top down. So first I'm curling up with my neck, and then my mid back, and then my low back, and curl up as high as you can. Squeeze everything on the front here, and then slowly return the opposite way as you came up. So I came down with my low back, mid back, then my neck. And I'm gonna do a couple more reps here, curling up as high as I can, core's on fire here, and then slowly returning back to starting position. And you should feel a lot of the muscles on the front of your spine working with this exercise.
So this is the curl up exercise. What I'm trying to think of is that my neck is gonna move first. I'm gonna curl from the top of my spine all the way down through the middle and try to get as high up as I can. It is basically impossible to get all the way up in a nice curl up fashion. The higher and higher up you go, the more you're gonna feel your stomach muscles turn on. This is different than a crunch where I'm gonna let my legs come up or I'm gonna use momentum to come up. I'm trying to curl everything in my spine. So it's gonna be my neck first. I'm gonna be doing a chin tuck. My eyes, I'm gonna be looking down beneath my legs. Once my shoulders start coming up, that's when it gets harder. And I'm gonna go up as high as I can, and I'm gonna hold for the prescribed amount of time, and then in the reverse, you wanna do the exact opposite. I don't wanna come down with my neck and let everything come down. I'm gonna come down right now with my middle of my back, then my shoulder blades, then the top of my neck, and then my head. So again, it's one motion, one curl motion, up, keeping it tucked, down.